All right, knock it off, I'm talking here. It's your favorite curmudgeon, Uncle Bob, and this is Books I Will Never Read Again, the show where I take a literary bullet so you don't have to. And boy oh boy, today we're dragging a real monster into the light. It's called Totality and Infinity, which is just as much fun as it sounds. We're going to take this thing apart piece by piece and see why its best and highest purpose is to start a fire.
Okay, I want you to take a good, long look at this name, Emmanuel Levinas. Go on, sear it into your memory, because this is the dingbat, the absolute philosophical goofball who is responsible for the crime against humanity we're about to dissect. I spent a week locked in a room with this book, and now my brain feels like a shaken snow globe.
So, let's just sample the goods, shall we? Subjectivity realizes these impossible exigencies, the astonishing feat of containing more than it is possible to contain. You see? You see what I'm talking about? I can't even read it straight. That's not a sentence. That's a cry for help from a tenured professor who's terrified someone will figure out he just makes up words for a living. It's a word salad made by a punk-ass nerd.
Okay, Section 1. The big problem this book is trying to solve. And you know what it is? After fighting my way through 300 pages of this gobbledygook, I figured it out. The big, cosmic, earth-shattering problem is you. Yep, you, the person listening. You are a self-centered goon, and your big crime against the universe is, well, existing.
Which brings us to his first big, scary-sounding word, totality. Ooh, sounds impressive, right? Well, don't you get your knickers in a twist. It's just a ridiculously fancy way of saying you're stuck in your own head. You know, you think about your own life, you worry about what you're going to have for lunch, and to this guy, that's not just living, that's a full-blown philosophical emergency. The nerve of you thinking about your own burrito. What a numbskull.
So here it is, folks, the epic battle for the ages. On one side, you have the same. That's you beautiful self-absorbed knuckle-dragger. And in the other corner, you have the other, which is literally every single person on Earth who isn't you. Our man Levinas basically wrote an entire book about his shocking discovery that, get this, other people exist and they're not him. Somebody get this doofus a Nobel Prize quick.
On to Section 2, Magical Staring Contests. So we've established the problem. You're a selfish nitwit. Fine. But what's the solution? What's the genius plan this cheese blockhead cooked up to save humanity from itself? Oh, you're gonna love this. Brace yourselves. How do we break free from this tyranny of the self? How do we finally stop thinking about our burrito and achieve true ethical purity? Is it laws? Is it education? Is it basic human decency? No, of course not. The real answer is so much dumber.
Yep, that's it. The face. The whole solution is to just look at someone's face. I am not making this up. The key to all morality, the secret to ending war and injustice, the one weird trick that makes you a good person is just staring at some other guy's mug. It's a magical staring contest. That's the whole thesis.
Just listen to this nonsense. You see a face, and bam, suddenly there's an ethical impossibility of killing him. It just marks the end of powers. So what? If someone's robbing a bank, the teller should just lean over the counter and give him a really good look? The robber would just drop his gun, paralyzed by ethics? Come on, this isn't philosophy. This is a superpower for bicycle seat sniffers.
So here it is, the whole self-help program. Step 1, be a complete and total moron, lost in your own little world. Most of us have that down. Step 2, accidentally make eye contact with somebody. Step 3, poof, you're a saint now. You're a pillar of the community. You are suddenly more afraid of murder than death itself. It's the laziest, dumbest guide to being a good person I've ever seen.
And now for Section 3, Women the Human Welcome Mat. Oh, you thought the magic face staring was weird? You ain't seen nothing yet. Buckle up, buttercups, because this is where the train flies completely off the rails and into a ravine of pure, unadulterated strangeness.
I'm going to read that one more time, just so the crazy can really sink in. The other, whose presence is discreetly in absence. What does that even mean? How can you be present and absent at the same time? Are we talking about a ghost? Or just someone who's so profoundly boring that they create a vacuum in the room? It's pure, uncut gibberish.
So according to our boy Manny, what's a woman for? Well, she's the interiority of the home. She's the welcoming one. She creates gentleness. You know, he's not describing a human being here. He's describing a nice throw pillow, or maybe a scented candle. His ideal woman isn't a person. She's a piece of high-end, sentient furniture.
All right, we're in the home stretch. Section 4, Immortality's Pathetic Cheat Code. Just when you thought this book couldn't get any more desperate, Levinas drops his grand finale on us. his solution to death. And let me tell you, it's the biggest philosophical cop-out I've ever read, designed for people too scared to admit that one day they're just going to be worm food.
And the magic word for this trick is fecundity. All it means is having a kid. That's the whole plan. You pop out a kid so you can fool yourself into thinking a little part of you gets to carry on. It's an existential pyramid scheme, a cheap trick for crusty bozos who are terrified of the dark.
Just listen to this pretzel logic. My child is a stranger, but he is me. He is me a stranger to myself. You know what that sounds like? That's the sound of a piss clown at a dinner party trying to sound deep after one too many glasses of cheap Merlot. It's a sentence that trips over its own feet and falls down a flight of stairs.
And that brings us to the final verdict. Court is now in session, the Honorable Uncle Bob presiding. We are here today to pass judgment on this book, Totality and Infinity. Let's look at the evidence, shall we?
First, a character witness, from the translator's own introduction. He calls it radically original and carefully thought through. Oh, really? Carefully thought through? This guy must have been paid by the word, because that's not an introduction. That's a hostage statement. He knew what he was unleashing on the world and was trying to cover his tracks.
And for the prosecution's final piece of evidence, I present this number, 314. Is that the page count? No, that's the number of pages in the index. Just the index. What kind of book needs a 314-page index? The only thing this book is lit for is pressing a rare flower or maybe holding open a very, very heavy door.
And so, this court finds the defendant, Totality and Infinity, guilty. Guilty on all counts. Guilty of being pretentious, guilty of being completely unreadable, and guilty of being a criminal waste of beautiful trees that could have become something useful, like a cardboard box or maybe a pirate hat. Your sentence, to be banished to the darkest, dustiest corner of a forgotten library. Case closed.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to ponder. The next time you feel like a real jerk, what's the better course of action? Should you torture yourself with 300 pages of this philosophical sludge? Or should you just take old Manny's advice, go to the park, and just stare at a stranger until you feel the magic of ethics wash over you? Yeah, you figure it out. Now buzz off, you silly geese.